The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Welcome to Aging Horizons. Today we're talking about arthritis, and May is National Arthritis Month. Did you know that in Montana over 29% of the adults have arthritis, and it is the number one reason for having a disability? Well, we have a program in Montana and we can help you with some issues on that, and we'll better define it. So stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Hey caregivers, did you know that respite time is your time? How will you spend it?
We love to get outdoors, so if we have any free time, that's pretty much where you can find us.
Bailey Tolson, East Helena.
We love to hike. Any chance we get, we're out there. And of course, there's always date night.
Montana Lifespan Respite. Respite for caregivers. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. It's okay to get it. To learn if you're eligible, call 1-800-224-6034.
We love date night.
Medicare loses $60 million in Montana each year, $70 billion nationally. Medicare processes 4.5 million claims a day. They don't know who your doctor is, but you do. Mistakes can happen.
Read your Medicare statements and call Montana Senior Medicare Patrol if you see anything unexpected.
1-800-551-3191. This project is supported by a grant by the Administration for Community Living.
I think the most pleasant surprise when we turned 65 and signed up for Medicare Part B was finding out about our Welcome to Medicare preventive visit.
It was free, and it gave us the opportunity to visit with our doctors and establish a plan for our health going forward.
They reviewed our medical history, measured our height, weight, blood pressure, and counseled us on other risk factors.
To learn more about Medicare's free or low-cost preventive and wellness benefits, call your local SHIP counselor at 800-551-3191. I mentioned it's free, right?
Twice.
I was the last guy you'd expect to get diabetes. I was a competitive runner and I always took care of myself. So when I was diagnosed, it kind of threw me. But it's really encouraging to know I'm not alone with it. There are a lot of other people going through the same things as I am. It takes some effort. You have to keep after it. Exercise, meds, and diet are the key. But there are a lot of folks who want me to succeed. Diabetes is not the end of the world. With effort and attitude, you can have a normal life.
Hi folks, and welcome to Aging Horizons, brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services Senior and Long-Term Care Division. I'm your host, Brian Lamore. Did you know May is National Arthritis Month, and that in Montana about 29% of the adults have arthritis, and that 75% of them, it affects their ability to do common things every day. So we have a special program in Montana that is run by the Department of Public Health and Human Services, and it's the Montana Arthritis Program. And of course, we have some wonderful guests here for you. We have Melissa Dale and Aaron Bly. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you both here.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Okay, and Melissa, let's start with you. This is the Montana Arthritis Program. Tell us about it and why it's important that Montana has a program like this.
Yeah, so as you've already mentioned, Montana has 29% of our adults have arthritis, which is actually higher than the national average, which is 24%. So it's critical that we have some programs here in Montana. So we actually, within the Department of Public Health and Human Services, there is a program specifically to help people with arthritis, so called the Montana Arthritis Program. Our goal is to work with all Montanans to either help prevent arthritis, or if you already have arthritis, to provide classes to help manage those pain and stiffness and the symptoms of arthritis. So just to kind of a little bit about arthritis, arthritis, as you the word, when you actually break it up, there's arth and then there's itis. When arth is actually joint, and then itis is inflammation. So it really means inflammation of the joint. And as many people already know, but there's not just one type of arthritis. Surprisingly, there's more than 100 different types of arthritis out there. So it can be from rheumatoid arthritis to osteoarthritis. Gout are kind of our top ones that we have.
Okay, well, that's interesting. But now, is there a particular age group that this arthritis focuses on, or could it be any age?
That is a great question. Arthritis does not discriminate. It affects anyone at any age. We have actually kiddos here in Montana who have arthritis called juvenile arthritis. It I think we have about 900 kiddos in Montana with juvenile arthritis, and then it can affect anybody. So, like I mentioned, it can affect both men and women. It affects any gender, or that is gender, but it can affect any race or ethnicity. So, there's some arthritis that women are more likely to have rheumatoid arthritis. Men are more likely to have gout. And so there's some arthritis that are more specific, but it affects anyone at any age. And so it's one of those, like, we want to definitely help people who are going through this because arthritis is actually the number one cause of disability in the United States and in Montana. And this can be as simple as just not being able to hold a cup because it's too painful to hold, or just your hands hurt, or to walking, that you just can't even walk very far. So arthritis can it's a huge spectrum of who it affects and how it affects you.
Now, is this considered a disease?
Yes, that's a great question. Yes, this is considered a chronic health condition, disease, and it is actually the number 2 chronic health condition. Hypertension is the number 1, and then it ends up being arthritis is the next one there.
Okay, and let's see. I guess that if it's a disease, we're talking about the symptoms here, but is there a way to prevent it prior to getting it?
Yeah, so there are some of the arthritis you can prevent. So not all of them, like I said, there's over 100 different types. So every single one is slightly different. But with osteoarthritis, this is the most typical one that we actually see. And we tend to see this one in older adults. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, and as you did kind of ask this, but is arthritis can affect anyone at any age. And so almost half of the working age adults in Montana already have arthritis. So it's not just an older adult health condition, but we typically see some type of arthritis that are for older adults, such as like osteoarthritis, which is, we call it the wear and tear arthritis. And so that's when the cartilage in your joints start to wear out, and then bone rubs against bone. And the biggest way to help prevent this is just to use safety strategies. So if you're going to be, playing contact sports, making sure you have your pads on, ensuring like if you're like having to do anything that's hard on your joints, to have some protective joint, like some pads or other things such as that to help manage that. And then, however, there's some other type of arthritis, such as like rheumatoid arthritis, and this is actually called an autoimmune disease. So there's really no way to help prevent it. But if you are noticing any issues, you definitely want to go and talk with your healthcare provider right away and get on a treatment to ensure the damage doesn't get worse over time.
Mm-hmm. Address it as soon as you can. I have coffee with some older guys up to 84, and they can trace back their arthritis to their thumb playing football, their knee playing football, their ankle playing wrestling, or their ribs, a cow pushing them up against the fence. But again, what you're saying is if it starts to hurt, talk to your doctor. We say that on many things, and start the treatments going, because it can help you a lot. Now, we have a website and a phone number that goes to you guys, and in the next segment we'll talk more about how they can access the resources that you offer. So we'll be back in just a few seconds, so stay tuned. You probably know someone with arthritis. If it isn't you, we got some great information.
Can you say ombudsman?
Ombudsman. Benson?
Uma Doodlesman? Fortunately, you don't have to say it right to get the help of a long-term care ombudsman. If you or a loved one reside in assisted living or long-term care, an ombudsman can help resolve any issue. And these services are completely free and confidential. Now, why don't you try that again?
Ombudsman.
You've probably seen some big-name celebrities on your TV lately talking about all the Medicare benefits you're missing out on. But the insurance companies who are paying for these ads may be pushing benefits not available in Montana. Fortunately, help is available from a friendly state health insurance assistance program counselor who can help you sort it all out. It's free, and we screen everyone for eligibility regardless of your zip code. It's Montanans helping Montanans. Call today.
Every 65 seconds, someone is affected with Alzheimer's or other dementias. Many become isolated at a time when help is most needed. If you or someone you love is affected, help is available, both for people with memory loss and their caregivers. Memory loss can feel frightening, but you are not alone. Call the free 24/7 Alzheimer's Association helpline, 800-272-3900, for guidance and support.
Benefits can be complicated. Getting help shouldn't be. Montana Veteran Service Officers offer free, confidential assistance to help veterans understand and receive the benefits they've earned, state, federal, and beyond. There's never a charge, only support. Connect with your local VSO today. Call 406-324-3742 or visit veterans.mt.gov. Montana serving veterans.
Brought to you by Montana Veteran Affairs Division and this station.
Hi folks, welcome back to Aging Horizons. I'm your host Brian Lamore, and continuing our discussion about arthritis. In the last segment we talked about the prevalence of it. This section we're going to be talking about what you can do about it. Rejoining us are two guests from the Montana Arthritis Program. On my left is Erin Bly and our right is Melissa Dale. And Erin, let's start with you. Pain is a big component of arthritis. How do we address that? It's not just with a pill, do we?
No, and unfortunately there is no cure for arthritis, but there are ways that we can manage arthritis. And as we mentioned in the previous segment, always work with your healthcare provider. They're there to help you with different remedies that they can prescribe or different things that they can recommend to help you manage that pain. And the biggest thing to manage arthritis is actually physical activity. So we often use the term motion is medicine. So we want to keep those joints that are affected from that arthritis, that inflammation, we want to keep them moving. We want to keep them strong so that the muscles around the joints can help support them.
Mm-hmm. And there's over 100 different types of arthritis. What can an individual do to educate themselves about that particular arthritis?
Yeah, so working with your healthcare provider. So let your healthcare provider know what symptoms you're seeing, kind of what might be different with your body. We usually know our bodies best and can kind of recognize what might be going on. So once we work with that healthcare provider, they might be able to provide specific things that we can do to ease that pain, to help us feel a little bit better, to help us and stay active, stay in motion, keep our bodies in motion.
Yeah. Now, we were talking about motion as the lotion. When we're talking about we're treating arthritis with it, how about doing that before we get arthritis?
Yeah, so keeping those muscles strong, keeping those joints moving are always important. But we want to find an activity that is easy, is low impact, that can help us stretch those muscles, stretch those joints, and increase that range of motion. Mm-hmm. So things like walking, cycling, water aerobics, as well as our program does have some classes and programs that we support around Montana that can help with these issues and with those joints, keeping them in motion.
Great. Now, we have the website on the screen and the telephone number. If they were to go to the website, what kind of resources could they access there?
Yeah, so learning more about arthritis is one of the things they can access. Also, what our program supports. So we have classes around Montana. So that is a great resource to see what might be available in your community that you have access to and can participate in. Again, learning about symptoms, learning about what it is, different types of arthritis.
And imagine that weight is many times an issue with arthritis. So it's probably important to lose weight, right?
Yeah, to maintain a healthy weight. So it is said that 1 pound of weight loss can decrease 4 pounds of pressure on that joint, which is a lot if you think about it. Yeah, our bodies do a lot for us, and having 4 pounds of extra pressure on those joints is a lot for our bodies to do.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's interesting, part of the notes here is relaxation therapy. That relaxation is an important component of addressing your arthritis. Tell us more.
Yeah, so things like yoga, Tai Chi, just that deep breathing. So as adults, we actually only breathe to chest level and above, but we want to be able to breathe all the way into that belly, that deep breathing. That keeps our stress level down and helps with that inflammation. So even just gentle stretching, and again, yoga and Tai Chi are great for that.
And then, the joints are inflamed, and, when I sprain an ankle or something, they say put cold on it and then put heat. Are both of those good for arthritis, or one in particular?
Heat would probably be the most recommended. And again, just being cautious of that. I mean, you don't want to lay on a heat pad forever and ever. So we want to limit that time to, they say no more than 20 minutes, but always, again, being attentive to your body and how you feel. But that heat therapy can sometimes help those joints with that inflammation and help that inflammation go down and feel a little bit better.
Okay, now we always talk about go to your physician, talk to them, because they know better than you what's going on, and they can help prescribe some things both for the inflammation and the pain, right?
Yes, correct. So medications are very important to manage arthritis. As we mentioned, there's no cure, but there are medications that can help ease your pain, help with that inflammation, help your body feel better. As with most medications, there can be side effects, but working closely with your healthcare provider can help you get that avenue that you need to feel your best. So they'll be able to work with you what medications might be working for your body, what medications might not work for your body and for your symptoms. So sometimes it's that relationship with the provider that can help you find the best solution for you.
Okay, and they're available all the time, and they generalize many times seniors that have arthritis, although it can hit any age group. Well, we've drawn to a close on our second segment so quickly. For our viewers, we're going to come back and we're going to talk more about the resources that this program has for you, so stay tuned.
Elder abuse is a growing problem, and it's happening right here in our Montana communities. At least 1 in 10 older adults are victims of physical or emotional abuse, financial exploitation, or neglect. To get help or report elder abuse, call your local area agency on aging or Adult Protective Services at 1-844-277-9300.
I have so many questions about power of attorney.
Well, some powers of attorney are for finances and others are for healthcare decisions.
A power of attorney designates an agent who would make decisions on your behalf.
While making a power of attorney, you have the ability to control your agent's power.
You also have the ability to decide when that POA would take effect.
Wait, am I giving away all my rights?
Power of attorney isn't a license to make any decision for you, just those that you've specified.
Your agent should be somebody that's working in your best interest, but it should also be somebody that you would trust.
What if they try to abuse their power?
Protective measures like third-party accounting discounting, secondary signatures, defined spending and gifting limits can help protect against financial exploitation. An agent's powers can always be limited by a customized power of attorney, and they can be revoked by you or the court if the power of attorney is abused.
So carefully drafted estate planning documents can help ensure that your finances are monitored but not abused.
If you or someone you know is being exploited, please report to Aging Services Bureau at 844-277-9300 or the Legal Service Developer at 1-800-332-2272. This message sponsored by the DPHHS Aging Service Bureau.
I've been shooting since I was young. It's something I've always enjoyed. I wasn't feeling like myself, but my friend noticed. He asked if he could hold onto my guns temporarily. At first, I was a little shocked. But then I agreed. I think he saved my life that day.
Hi folks, and welcome back to Aging Horizons. I'm your host, Brian Lamore, and we continue our discussion about May being National Arthritis Month. The state of Montana, Department of Public Health and Human Services has a program. It's a Montana Arthritis Program, and we have two wonderful guests from that program. We have Melissa Dale and Aaron Bly. And Melissa, let's start with you. When we left the last segment, we're about to talk about tools and implements that really help people with arthritis. Tell us more about those.
Yeah, so one of the things we typically see, I guess, when people have arthritis in their hands is they're losing that ability to have a tight grip and hold anything very well. And so now it's amazing now these days we have so many different kind of tools that people can use, especially wide grip tools. So you can actually get like utensils, so forks, knives, spoons with a wide grip, so you can actually eat, you can hold your spoon a little better and then eat that soup there. So that's something amazing to have. Along with that, we have a variety of like gardening tools that do the same thing, that have wider grip. Other tools to help out, you can use are, just like if people want to play card games, they actually have card game holders, so you can actually put your whole cards in there, so you're not holding on to something really small. So I would encourage you to, go to your local store, see what they have available, or you could even do online shopping if you'd like to do that, and see what different types. You could just type in arthritis tools, or how to manage arthritis, and different tools like that there.
I know I'm a guy, I should be able to open jars, but occasionally there's a jar I can't open. So I have an assisted device and boop, pops it right open. It's so easy. These things are real handy.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So don't be afraid to go get them. Now, Aaron, the department, or through your program, offers classes to individuals that they can take to better understand arthritis and help address the issues of arthritis. Tell us more about that.
Yes, so the Montana Arthritis Program sponsors several classes that we support throughout the Montana communities that anybody can participate in. You don't have to have arthritis to participate in these classes, but the classes have been shown to help people with arthritis and manage those symptoms.
Mm-hmm. And so by going to the website on the screen or calling the telephone number, they can get more information on that. But now they have a Stay Alive and Independent for Life. It's called SAIL program. Tell us more about that particular one.
Yes, so Stay Active and Independent for Life is SAIL, and I'm actually a master trainer here in Montana. And this is probably one of our more popular classes throughout the communities. It's an exercise class for older adults. It works on balance, strength, and flexibility. So it combines all of those components in a 1-hour class that participants can either do standing or seated. So it's also nice in that way because it meets participants where they're at. Mm-hmm. And it's a 12-week class, and it can be offered usually 2 or 3 times. We mostly see most of our sites offering 2 times per week. And again, it's a 1-hour class. It's a great class because it's mainly scripted. So participants know what to expect when they come into class and can really work on improving that strength, improving that flexibility, and all of those things help those arthritis symptoms.
Right. And Tai Chi, I have a physician, a friend that teaches Tai Chi, and I've taken it a few times. That's really good for the joints too, isn't it?
Yes, this is one of our newest classes that we are supporting, and it has been so popular in Montana. It is the form that we teach here is the Sun Style Tai Chi. It's gentle, upright movement, just focused on those slow movements, so we're not impacting those joints too much. We definitely see it offered as an 8-week class or a 16-week class, depending on the instructor and the site that is offering it. And again, it's just focused on those slow, focused movements. It's focused on that breathing. So we talked about that slow, deep breathing earlier, and it just incorporates all of those things.
Okay. And then another class that you suggest is Walking with Ease. Tell us about that program.
Yeah, Walk with Ease is a walking program that focuses on how to walk safely and comfortably with arthritis. And then it has an education component lesson as well for each class. It's shown to reduce arthritis pain and our overall health. We see it offered in Montana as a self-directed, so that can kind of be on your own, walking anytime, anywhere, and then just logging that time and those miles that you put in, or as a group, which brings in that social aspect, which is so important for all of us to get that social interaction with people. It's a 6-week class, and again, encouraged to walk at least 3 times per week. If walking in a group, they normally meet anywhere from 10 to 60 minutes for those classes. But again, always meeting people where they're at. So starting where you're able to, and then progressing from there, as with all things with exercise.
That's great. And Melissa, we're drawn to a close on the show. Can you kind of summarize the arthritis program for us?
Yeah, so all these programs that Aaron had mentioned, these have all been proven to help improve the day-to-day activities, help decrease pain and depression. And so by helping manage your arthritis, these can all be possible.
That's great. Well, right off the bat, I'd like to thank you both for your service to Montanans and how you're helping individuals and our state be a better state. This is a wonderful place to walk around, to participate, and enjoy the beauties of Montana. I'm Brian Lamore. Thank you for joining us.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.